we're going to be going over why Driving Empire just removed tons of cars, but before I do that, make sure to subscribe and drop a like on this video, but without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, I'm not quite sure how many cars Driving Empire removed exactly, but basically, the cars that they removed were every single fake car. So, for example, we got the Blablingo, I don't even know what the name is, but this is an example of one of the cars they removed. Now, they're not fully removed from the game technically, but you can no longer purchase them. They've been removed from the dealership, and my guess is they will end up eventually getting removed from the game or replaced with real models. We'll kind of go over that more later, but just in case you were curious, a few other cars that were kind of removed, I guess this one is an example of a random one. If you really just look through your inventory, I'm sure you guys might have some of these cars. So technically, I guess some of these cars might even end up being rare now because I doubt anyone even purchased this ugly thing that I have. So this is probably one of the rarest cars in the game now, which is kind of funny. Let's see what else there is. This thing, I'm sure this thing's super rare now too. This one was removed. I mean, I could spend all day looking through my inventory, but you get the drill. You know, anything that wasn't a licensed name brand car, that was just kind of a made-up fictional thing, those were all the things that were removed. Let's see, is there anything else real quick I can show you? Stuff like this. There actually is only one fake vehicle remaining in the dealership. I'll go over why once we're in there, but let's head in there now and take a look. So we go in the dealership, look around here, you see no more fake vehicles. Everything is a Chevrolet, McLaren, Land Rover, Nissan, Ford. You see that it's all real brands. You know, they're all real brands with their names. Only fake vehicles left that have like made up names are like the motorcycles, but that's because they haven't done any motorcycle licensing yet. I'm sure if they do, and I think they probably will in the future, most likely the fake motorcycles will go as well. But why did they do this? You know, they were just cars at the end of the day. They were fake model cars. There was a lot of them still. Why would they remove all them? To be honest with you, I think basically Driving Empire's goal is to get every car licensed at some point. You know, obviously not every car in the world is going to be licensed in Driving Empire, but you know, for the most part, they want to get like every known brand licensed, and most of the known models, they want them in the game, and they've been doing a pretty good job at doing that. As you can see, they've got quite the inventory built up of licensed vehicles, and I feel like Driving Empire was waiting to do this for a while to remove the fake vehicles. They were waiting probably to get to a point where they had so many real licensed cars that it wouldn't matter if they removed the fake cars. People wouldn't notice anymore, and I think that's what they did. Now, why would they remove perfectly good cars still? You know, it might still not make sense to you. Like, you might be like, I get it, you know, they want to have all the real licensed cars in the dealership, but why not keep the other cars just in case someone wanted them? To be honest, I think I know why. With licensed vehicles, they have to be more realistic about the speeds of these cars. Now, with non-licensed vehicles, they could be very unrealistic about the speeds. So, a lot of the unlicensed vehicles weren't balanced properly with the licensed cars, so they just ended up removing them, so people kind of don't, you know, buy the non-licensed cars. A great example of that was the Rovana Racer. Let me show you why. So, the Rovana Racer right here, this thing's actually the most OP car in-game, the most powerful all-around vehicle. Now, my guess is they probably removed a lot of these licensed cars because you see how OP this car is, right? I went over in a video how this is probably like the most OP car in-game, and it's better than any licensed hypercar. And that's just because, you know, this car, they could have rebalanced this car, but it would have led to a ton of people complaining about them doing that, so they didn't want to anger people. Instead, they just kind of like took it off sale, didn't really mention it, as well as all the other licensed cars, or non-licensed cars, my bad. They took all the others off sale, so that way it didn't anger too many people, because like I know a rebalance to this car would have triggered people, so instead they took it off sale to make new players buy the licensed cars instead. That's my guess why they did it, you know, because like if there's an OP car that's less money than the licensed hypercars, you would go for this thing, even though it might not look as pretty. It's got more power, more performance, it's really OP, and like I said, if they nerfed it, it would have angered people, so anything they could have done would have angered people, so this was probably the best way for them to, you know, remove this car from the dealership, make more people buy licensed hypercars. That's most likely why it was done, to, you know, make people want to buy the licensed cars more, and also, you know, a lot of those cars were very ugly, so they probably just wanted the ugly vehicles out of there as well. Now, you might be like, why is there still one non-licensed car? Well, to be honest, it's just a funny vehicle, man. Why would they want to get rid of this thing? I mean, I don't think, you know, it's that big of a deal keeping this random little truck in the dealership. It's just one vehicle. I'm sure someone on the dev team probably said, that's a hilarious little car. Why remove it? Let the players have their fun with this little truck here and keep it in. You know, the Tanaka Tote. the game wouldn't be the same without it. They had to keep this one in the dealership, obviously. I don't even know why I don't have it hearted, but there we go. We gotta love this car, you know. This is the best vehicle in game, as you guys know, so of course they had to keep the Tanaka Tote in the dealer. It wouldn't be fair, like, if they took it out. So thankfully they did make the right decision to keep one car in. But yeah, obviously, all jokes aside, you know, it's just a funny truck. There's not that big of a problem with keeping it in the dealership, so that's probably why it's still here. All the other cars, I don't think, do they show if you're in view off sale? I don't know if they do. Let me check. I don't know. I don't believe it. I think they're honestly just trying to make us, you know, forget about it and move on from the non-licensed models. The only one I still see here is this thing. That was because it's a car pack vehicle, I think, but I think, you know, they're at a point where there's gonna be no more non-licensed vehicles ever. Like, no more, you know, fake models, none of that. The only fake models they would probably continue doing is, like, event cars. For example, the Pumpkin, like, this is just a made-up funny car. But, like, only funny things like this would be, like, the only things they would add that are not real cars. From now on, we're never getting, like, a fake car like the Rovanas again. Now, another thing that this could mean is that some of these brands also could have ended up being licensed, and they're working on transitioning the fake models into real models. Now, some examples, potentially Rovana could be getting turned into Bugatti. Like, you know, this is a Bugatti Bolide fake model, and maybe, you know, I've heard theories that it could be Bugatti, but the devs did dismiss those theories, so, you know, nothing's really confirmed. But, I mean, usually when they remove the fake cars from the dealership, it's because they're turning them into licensed models. But obviously, they do that like one car brand at a time. Like, for example, if let's say Rovana here was licensed as Bugatti, they would remove the Rovanas, turn the models into Bugattis, and then they would release an update that would change all the models into Bugattis, and they would be put back in the dealership with new prices, new performance as Bugattis. But I don't think that's the case here, because like I said, you know, every fake model was removed except for the Tanaka Tote. Obviously, they just kept that because it's a funny truck. So I don't think this time has to do with licensing. Now, honestly, I think it's for the better that all the fake cars were removed from the dealership. I mean, I know, you know, it sucks because the Rovana was like a desirable vehicle. So, you know, there could have been someone who wanted to get this car and now they can't. Now, one thing I do kind of wonder is if they are going to end up fully removing them from the game if they don't ever end up licensed within the next few months. Like, let's say, for example, this car right here, this is actually a real model that was in the dealership. I don't know when it was taken off sale, but let's say, for example, this is not, you know, licensed within the next few months. What are they gonna do? Are they just gonna end up removing it fully from the game because it wasn't licensed, then it's off sale? I honestly don't know what their plan is with that, so comment down below what you think they're gonna do. I'm sure, you know, maybe in a few weeks or something, or a few days, they'll give us some clarity on why they removed the cars, but I'm guessing it has to do with something that I said already. But I do think that is gonna be everything for today's video. I truly hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to drop a like. I would truly appreciate it. Subscribe, and the notification bell so you never miss another upload. Check out the video on the screen here, YouTube links to like it, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.